What's going on, everybody? It's Shiranui coming at you with a brand new video, and as you probably can tell, it's spooky month! I absolutely love Halloween. It's like probably tied with Christmas for like my favorite holiday. You know, the weather starts getting cooler, which is great considering that I live in bumfuck Texas and it's hot as balls here. We got pumpkin spice stuff. We got all like the fall scents for like the incense and everything. I just really like Halloween, and what better way to celebrate Halloween than with zombies? Who doesn't like zombies? Personally, I really like zombies, hence why I'm bringing you guys a really fun tier list for Halloween, or just October in general for 2022, and that is going to be my zombie archetype tier list. Now, okay, I know what you're saying, this looks like a very small tier list, but if I didn't bend the rules a little bit, it would have been even smaller. I literally included the Ghost Girls, because they're technically all zombies despite being a series, the Zombie World cards, because, I mean, they're technically an archetype, and Ghost Ricks, which are only, like, a third zombies. We actually have a criminal lack of actual zombie archetypes in the game, it's crazy. But we're gonna make do with what we have here. So as you can see, we have 3 different categories, and that's because this tier list is going to be ranking them by how spooky their artwork is. So first off, we have Bone Rattling. Bone Rattling is reserved for like the spookiest of spooky artworks that'll make you tremble in your skin. And then you have Very Scary, which is not amazing, but they are still quite spooky. And then you have... Alright, so I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and get into my zombie archetype tier list for Halloween of 2022. So let's start off with the Ghost Girls, and the Ghost Girls are unfortunately going to be going straight into the spooky music stops category. So hear me out, this is not because the artwork is bad. I think that the Ghost Girls have like gorgeous artworks, and they're one of my favorite like series of artworks in the game, but they aren't exactly scary. I don't know, man, the scariest thing about Ash Blossom is the size of her forehead. So yeah, immediately starting us off, Ghost Girls are going to be going into spooky music stops. Next up, we have vampires, and vampires are going to bless our very scary category. So vampires are actually a personal favorite archetype of mine. I actually tried to do a Sleeper Sunday with them, and I probably would still try just to get one out for Halloween as well, but the archetype is just kind of terrible. But their artwork is very pretty. It's a lot of like sort of Castlevania-esque stuff, which makes sense. We actually have Vampire Hunter, I think his name is, which is literally just a Castlevania reference. But we have a lot of like the whole Castlevania aesthetic with like the Romanian castles or whatever that kind of genre is. A lot of it's very macabre overall, but it is pretty scary to like people that think Dracula is scary, you know? But I mean, hey, some people are scared of vampires, so they're going to be going in the very scary category. So this actually turned out very convenient in terms of the ordering. Next we have Zombie World, and that's going to be the first bone rattling archetype. Well, archetype in quotes, that is. See, Zombie World's actually really cool art-wise because, yeah, you have some pretty mediocre stuff like Necroworld Banshee, but then you have Glow Up Bloom, which is literally just like a plant pod with an eyeball. And then, of course, you have Doom King Ballardrock here, which is literally, this card made me put this in the actual tier list alone. This card is amazing looking. And yes, while there aren't too many cards that actually mention Zombie World and like the archetype, quote-unquote, there is enough for me to warrant putting it here because we don't have enough zombie archetypes to fill in the gap, and for the few that there are, they are really damn cool. So next up we have Eldritch, and then the Golden Land and Eldlixir stuff. I'm gonna put it in very scary under vampires. So the scariest thing about Eldritch is probably the Golden Land spell and traps because, like, you know, dead guys and shit. But they kind of took away most of the scary stuff about Eldritch when they decided to give him the alt art. Like, they made people stop wanting to turn on the lights and just start wanting to be turned on, period. So yeah, Eldritch, sorry buddy, you're not that scary. Actually, you know what, Eldritch, you're so unscary that I'm going to be putting you in spooky music stops. Next up we have Ghost Rick, and of course, Ghost Rick is the scariest archetype in the game. Like, they literally have a card called Ghost Rick Scare. How am I not going to put it at the top of Bone Rattling? If you think otherwise, you got scared by a Ghost Rick lantern out of your opponent's hand. So next up we have the Skull Servants, and I'm tempted to say that they're slightly scarier than the vampire archetype. And yes, while white baking is a card and makes the archetype incredibly goofy, all of the other white cards are really cool looking. Like, you have the Lady in White, which has like all the spiders and spider webs around her and stuff. You have White Mare, which has like that really cool shadow beast in the background. White Prince, who's literally in a graveyard with like a weird ghost, like skeleton dog thing. Like, it is really cool. I was going to make a joke and put it in the bone rattling category, but it wouldn't be a nice even chart if I did that, and so that's the only reason probably why it's staying in very scary. Next up, we have the Vendread archetype, and guys, this archetype is like really fucking creepy. You got zombies, you got like weird eldritch abomination dog things, you got the same thing with birds, you got like this really weird gross core looking thing. You have a guy that's like, his entire stomach is gone, and like he has a fucking demon wing and shit. Not to mention the fucking rituals themselves. Like Vendread Battlelord literally looks straight out of something like Silent Hill. It's probably not a surprise considering that, you know, this is based on Resident Evil from what I remember. So that's probably why, but guys, this archetype is one of the main ones that inspired me to make this tier list, because I remember the first time I saw Vendread Hound Horde and I was like, wow, I'm surprised they allowed that. Next up, we got Shiranui, and I mean, yeah, Shiranui just really isn't my cup of tea when it comes to spooky. If anything, they just feel more like warriors that got dumbed down into zombies. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think they shouldn't be zombies. I'm just saying that it's like trying to find Infernoble scary, right? Like, a lot of their stuff is more depressing than it is actually scary in terms of zombies. Like, it's mainly because they're like spirits or whatever, or spirit fighters, but they're not really like zombies, and they're nothing like really scary at all. Finally, we have Mayakashi, which I actually recently did a Sleeper Sunday episode on, I believe in August, so you should totally go check that out if you haven't already. But I'm going to put Mayakashi probably above Vampire, mainly because, yeah, Mayakashi does have like a centric around anime girls and shit, and she's not really scary at all, even though actual Yuki-onas are pretty scary. The rest of the Mayakashi archetype, aside from just the anime people, are like really cool looking. Oboro-Garuma is like an Oni flame chariot. Tsuchigumo is a giant spider thing with like a random weapon that I can't even tell what it is. Tengu is like this weird Oni like bird thing with fire. Yoko is a nine-tailed fox spirit, and do not even get me started on Gasharakuro. I think that, yes, again, while the anime girls do kind of like offset that, I think that the actual yokai themselves are enough to offset the balance. Well, guys, there you have it. I know it was a bit short, but this is my zombie archetype tier list for Halloween of 2022. I initially was going to make this like an actual archetype rating, like how good they are and stuff, but I think making it artwork centered was actually a lot more fun than if I would have done that. So yeah, again, this is like my personal opinion here. Obviously, Ghost Rick is like a personal bias, and I just really like Ghost Rick. But you should go ahead and totally let me know your opinions down in the comments below, because that's going to do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure to leave a like, as it helps put this video and the channel into YouTube recommended. And if you're like this content, you want to see more like it, I'm trying to do some more fun tier lists, like my alt art tier list, trying to branch out a little bit and just have a little bit more fun. Then perhaps consider subscribing, because we're on our way to 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. We are getting there very fast. I gained like 40 subs in like a day. Like recently, we're at like, I think 1963 if that hasn't gone up as of recording this video right now. That is crazy, guys. Yeah, be sure to subscribe because it supports the channel more than anything else, and it's absolutely free. It costs you absolutely nothing. I hope you guys do have a very happy Halloween if you guys do celebrate it, whether you're just sitting there giving out candy to kids, or going out and trick-or-treating yourself at whatever age you feel like, or sitting in and being a grouch all day. Go ahead and feel free to do whatever you want. I just hope you do it safely and have fun. But yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.